Now, fans that either sold their tickets or whatever, all of a sudden an emphasis is starting to get thrown onto the tickets where people believe she will be playing. And that's starting to make the ticket prices go up.
With ticket prices soaring like she's shooting threes on the moon and viewership-shattering records, the Federal Reserve may need to step in. Fans are bidding off kidneys for courtside tickets. What sort of magic is this? Have Taylor Swift and LeBron Steph combined to create this mayhem, which was brought on by Caitlin Clark's injury recovery?
In fact, ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
In addition to dribbling basketballs, Caitlin Clark is also dribbling bank accounts, media narratives, egos, and the WNBA. Let's face it, there were people before and after her, and their ticket prices were sitting down before her, and now they're slamming through your wallet and into the luxury tax bracket.
At the game she got, because she's really talented, especially for being Palangi, She's like the Stephen Curry of WNBA with the threes and stuff. Like, proven fact is, like, they had a game on June 7th scheduled, it was going to be Angel Reese's team, which plays for Chicago, and then for Caitlin Clark's team. They were supposed to go up there playing Chicago on June 7th. First, the ticket sales were at $76 a ticket. Then after they found out Caitlin Clark's not playing that game, she got injured, sales dropped.
What's really going on, though, is the WNBA veterans' meltdown energy. It seems like they didn't read the script that says, bigger audience equals more money and equals chill out. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just a feeling that happens when she scores 30 points. It's bigger and more pervasive. It's like oxygen. In the arena now, even when she doesn't play, the numbers spike. Sales of merchandise and higher television ratings. The audience is acting like Taylor Swift at an NFL game, which is making the higher security personnel anxious.
Ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect her at all costs. You can argue all you want if she's the best player in the league, but you absolutely cannot argue if she's the most important, because she is. She is more valuable than all the other players combined. And
Worst part is that some WNBA players act as though they would rather defend a fast break without shoes than acknowledge it. You would think the league would give a red carpet to someone who is essentially bringing the entire organization into the public eye like an ESPN point guard on a mission. But instead, some players are behaving as though Caitlin showed up and took their endorsement deals and lunch money.
Suffering a major injury is Caitlin Clark. Is going to be out for 2 weeks with a quad injury. And the reason we're bringing this up specifically is the Clarkonomics effect to this. Obviously, players miss time all the time, but the Sky and the Fever were supposed to play in Chicago in about a week on June 7th. The opening ticket price was $86 because you have the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark showdown that is now box office. Yeah, those tickets are now down to $25. Down to $25 after the injury announcement. And it's supposed to take place in the Bulls Arena, the United Center, as opposed to the normal Wintrust Arena. That's about a 12,000 seat difference, give or take.
The strangest part is that even on her off nights, the effect still erupts. She doesn't wear a suit, and the arena is packed. It seems like people came to see if she would show up. Nobody else understands that, especially not the players who post passive-aggressive Instagram stories about respecting the veterans. Yes, we respect you, but we also respect the 2 million viewers who tune in to watch Caitlin get triple-teamed at half court. Some players don't seem to understand that Clark isn't their rival. Rather, she is their elevator, but instead of catching, the ride. A few are busy attempting to cut the cables on the surface. The irony is that, although the veterans' jealousy is louder than a buzzer beater in overtime, there are numerous quotes and side-eye body checks about rookies needing to earn it by January because, apparently, earning it doesn't include being. The only reason your next game is on national TV for the first time in 12 years. Some players are more concerned with becoming league gatekeepers than game changers, but Caitlyn's game isn't even about diva theatrics. She's simply out there unleashing logo threes like her shot chart is GPS-enabled.
That shouldn't change. I think, Caitlyn knows that she has ears and eyes in the locker room and the support that she has behind, whether it's us or anybody else. I would like to think that she knows it's there and to really take her time and make sure that she's, well enough to be who she needs to be for us because I want the 100% Caitlyn, so I'll take it.
Subsequently, the media circus erupts with commentators frothing at the mouth and camera angles that could as well be drones as soon as Clark touches the ball. Tracking the Wild is a combination of National Geographic and ESPN. You would think that the players would be celebrating the publicity, but instead we're hearing side commentary like, "She hasn't proven herself yet, girl. She's proven more in 15 minutes than some teams have proven in 15 seasons." Caitlyn in her natural hardwood habitat, the league's social numbers spike, and casual fans are suddenly debating zone defense on TikTok. Then there is the phenomenon of non-gaming. Although Caitlyn Clark is not performing, scalpers outside the arena are pricing as if she were the Coachella main event, and people still pretend as though she is going to rush through the tunnel. Conversely, some teams haven't generated that. Much attention since the Obama administration, but all of a sudden, one rookie's absence is more obvious than the home team's entire starting lineup. Despite this, players are responding with a barrage of thinly veiled quotes and insults in the locker room, acting as though Clark invented attention. She's just a rookie, okay, but she's also a rookie who's filling more seats than your last. 3 playoff runs combined.
And she's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, what's interesting about Caitlyn Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat. And all of a sudden, she got a little rest and comes back, gets a little banged up. I heard you talking about it earlier, and it's going to be fascinating to me, Ricky. I've been to Fever games, and the one thing you notice, and this is more so than even when Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the Colts.
The cognitive dissonance is insane, such as, sure, we understand that there are WNBA stars who have always been. The Wall would probably apologize if Diana Taurasi elbowed a brick wall, but similar to Serena and Tiger, Clark possesses a unique quality that cannot be taught, coached, or copied. No one is claiming that Clark is flawless. She gets blocked, gets stripped, and commits turnovers, but even her mistakes tend to happen when she assumes leadership roles. Twitter blows up. If the league were smart, it would be stifling her energy rather than trying to neutralize it with salty pressers and forced elbows, but instead, some players are trying to make her feel like, "It's a rite of passage, girl. This isn't a sorority. It's a business, and at the moment, Caitlyn is the best sales pitch the league has had since its inception. When she gets hip-checked, there's a whole debate on sports radio. 5 blogs ask if she's injured."
Caitlyn Clark.
Amazing. A beast. She is the truth. She's the truth, and she was a rookie. Knock down the three-pointer, get to the rim. She can get to the free throw line. She's crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty. So sometimes she look like she's coming off for a three-point shot and she backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass. She can shoot. Man, she is.
The sad part is that this should be the easiest alley-oop in league history. Take advantage of the new attention to highlight all the players and sell more jerseys. Even fans outside the WNBA are beginning to notice the difference in how she's treated. Is this how we treat the player who attracts millions of viewers to the sport? Apparently, yes, if you're still emotionally healing from being left off the Nike deal shortlist. obtain larger TV deals, and advance the game, but instead, half of the league is behaving as though Clark's success is an invasion rather than a revolution each time she enters the court, or not. The league becomes a bigger story. But some players are more focused on gatekeeping than legacy building, which is tragic because if egos weren't trying to play full-court press on progress. So, yes, Caitlin Clark is a rookie, but she already has the ball, the spotlight, the media coverage, and roughly $50 million worth of market influence circling her like a pick and roll. Whether she's sitting on the bench, sipping Gatorade, or swishing logo threes, the Caitlin Clark effect is in full force, and the league can either run with it or fall behind in transition.
Crazy was this season versus the seasons past.
Our jersey sales were up 1,193%. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and we're thrilled about it. But it brought visibility to the whole team of the Fever and to the WNBA. But if we just want to keep it in Indiana, we look at ticket sales sold out every night, over 17,000 fans in our games at home. When Caitlin announced that she was coming out into the draft on a Thursday afternoon, from that time to Sunday night, we had over 6,000 phone calls, people wanting to buy season tickets. But even something as simple as our terrific mascot, Freddie Fever, his appearance requests went up 150% this season. So you talk about the Fever, the team, which is what we've been.
Because, let's be clear, you're not simply watching a game when the crowd yells louder during the warm-ups than before the tip-off. You're witnessing a shift. The WNBA wasn't broken by Caitlin Clark. Rather, she reminded everyone of how much bigger it could be. Apparently, that's a hard pill to swallow when you thought your agent was the only person with that kind of pull. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more cartoonishly irrational, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert suddenly starts acting as though she personally slam-dunked the league into mainstream relevance. Sis is out here presenting how I saved the world PowerPoint presentations. Caitlin Clark of the WNBA is merely an intern who manages Gatorade logistics on the sidelines. In the Final Four, Kathy Engelbert didn't let South Carolina score 40 points. Kathy Engelbert didn't break college viewership records, start a national merchandise explosion, or teach men who had never watched women's sports what a dribble handoff is. But now, she's walking around like a marketing wizard who used a vision, board, and a press release to make all of this happen. The Caitlin Clark effect, ma'am, is a cultural earthquake rather than a team-building activity, and you're just fortunate to be hanging on by the rim as it trembles.
Ooh, Kathy Engelbert pens this beautiful article written by Kathy, about Kathy, for Kathy, explaining why she is solely responsible for the boom of the WNBA. Folks, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. The commissioner of the WNBA on transferring the league ahead of a breakout season. And what was that plan that Kathy Engelbert put in place? Working in partnership with my new WNBA team members, NBA colleagues, and WNBA owners, we developed a strategy with 3 pillars. The league would think players
and simply remove Caitlin Clark from the equation to test the theory. Suddenly, the boisterous audience appears more like a high school reunion at a silent nightclub, and ESPN's coverage is buried beneath cornhole championships and 2012 bowling replay ratings. To put it mildly, they would be working on the subterranean floors of the limbo. But every microphone Kathy sees while on tour seems to be an opportunity to mention strategic growth initiatives. For example, Steve Jobs introduced the WNBA iPhone, so of course, Kathy, since the country unexpectedly turned out to watch Indiana Fever games due to your Q2 marketing projections. Nothing shouts mainstream appeal like the sudden desire to watch teams that couldn't fill the second row at a bake sale 2 seasons ago. She's treating Caitlin like a background dancer in the Beyoncé tour of Kathy Saves the WNBA. Meanwhile, as we all know, the entire production would still be practicing in a YMCA gym if it weren't for Clark's arrival with her gravity-defying pull, turning the entire thing into a national obsession. However, rather than displaying a statue, Kathy is giving speeches about how hard we've worked behind the scenes for this growth. If Caitlin takes a week off, The only thing behind the scenes is the reality check that is waiting to confront you.
Exactly. None other than Kathy Engelbert is singing a different tune this season about Caitlin Clark. Now, we know last year she was talking about all of the other rookies being included in this, making a difference, being able to help contribute to the Big Bang of the WNBA. This time around, she's owing it all to Caitlin Clark. Me personally, I told y'all this at the beginning of the month. The chickens was coming home to roost for the WNBA, because I'm telling you right now, there has been a lot of spooky things going on and people is tired.
The truth is that one person brought this entire organization into the spotlight, and now Kathy is attempting to rebrand it as a group initiative, which isn't part of her grand strategy. If Clark announced tomorrow she was done, the league would collapse faster than a player on a buttered floor. If the WNBA had any common sense, they would be employing Caitlin Clark and bubble wrapping her in between games. This is Caitlin's highlight reel, and the league is fortunate to be following along while feigning it's called shotgun. Forget load management. This is legacy management. The Secret Service will protect her as if she were carrying nuclear codes. Not only is she a rookie, but she is the star of the halftime show and the entire advertising campaign combined into one, and yet she gets clobbered every game like she's walking into a clearance sale with a full cart, drawing more fouls than a vegan cafe's chicken nugget, while the referees stand there saying, "Play on, play on. What are we playing, Mad Max Fury Court?"
In her naivete or in her delusion, she takes credit for it. Instead of saying it's because of Caitlin Clark, instead of saying it's because of the person from Iowa, instead of saying it was because of her, Kathy says, oh, it's all me. My strategy, my plan, my 3 pillars. In this entire article, Kathy Engelbert mentions Caitlin Clark's name 2, maybe 3 times. Angel Reese's name once. Cameron Briggs' name once. Let's get right into it, because this article, from start to finish, is
the reason you suddenly need to purchase tickets on resale apps that appear to be scalping Beyoncé is because Caitlin Clark is not just playing basketball, but is also playing economic resurrection. She is also the reason why media outlets are treating the WNBA like a legitimate sports league rather than a niche passion project that is sandwiched between cornhole and horse racing, which is why you would think the league would be on DEFCON 1 attempting to ensure that their prized asset isn't hobbling into press appearances with ice packs affixed to her body. Rather, it appears as though they are gauging the amount of physical damage she can withstand before she becomes a walking insurance claim. Instead of creating the Caitlin Clark movie world, they're allowing her to be tackled like she walked into an NFL scrimmage. This is your LeBron, Serena, and Steph Curry moment.
Well, I think this pretty much closes the book on its Me Too. They're tuning in for Me Too. Oh, the WNBA's not going to like that. Oh, those Angel Reese trolls online that are trying to come for me and other YouTube channels, y'all aren't going to like this. Good. Too bad. I mean, it's more statistical proof, data, to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship, this whole bus. She's driving it, everybody else.
She doesn't need a reality check. Instead, she needs a security detail and a highlight montage that is shown before every game with a do, not touch labels slapped across the screen because, let's face it, without her, this is absurd. Meanwhile, the very players who ought to be thanking her for their suddenly flush paychecks are teasing her like it's 1992 Detroit Pistons cosplay night. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she showed out, and it's time the WNBA treated her like the person she is. The season would be as exciting as a lukewarm decaf latte. So give her the props, shower her with them, name an award after her, give her her own rule book, build a hologram statue in the middle of the season, or do whatever it takes